Shop Amazon for last minute gifts. Great deals for everyone on your list. Gifts for mom and gifts for dad. Even for your sister and your brother Chad. Ah shoot, we didn't realize we were supposed to get a gift for our dog walker guy. We almost forgot about our dentist Dr. Kerr. We didn't expect to get a gift from her. Or our cousin, I forget his name. He got us something nice, better reciprocate. For last minute deals on gifts for people you forgot. Get fast and free shipping at Amazon.
92% of households that start the year with Peloton are still active a year later.
92% because of a bike?
Not just bikes. We also make treadmills and rowers.
Oh, let me guess, for elite athletes only, right?
Nope. It doesn't matter if you're an avid exerciser or new to working out. Peloton can help you achieve your fitness goals. 92% stick with it. So can you. Try Peloton bikes, tread or row risk-free with a 30-day home trial. New members only. Not available in remote locations. See additional terms at onepeloton.com/home-trial.
You are now tuned in to the Carefree Black Girl podcast, where we discuss everything carefree, black, and girl. So, y'all, before we get into the conversation, the good stuff, make sure y'all take a second and subscribe. That's the most important thing that we need.
Subscribe to us if you are using iTunes on the podcast. Wherever you are listening to the Carefree Black Girl podcast, make sure to subscribe. Hashtag, you can even Google it, Carefree Black Girl podcast. Definitely follow us on Instagram, Carefree Black Girl _Inc. and CFBG Pod on Twitter.
Yes, if you have any questions for us, any ideas, if you want to hear us talk about anything, email us, careFreeBlackGirlPodcast@gmail.com.
All right, now let's get back into the conversation.
Let's do this, baby. So I'm Daaj, and I'm the only original Carefree Black Girl on air today. Ivy is in Europe, in Amsterdam, and Bree is in LA.
She's not in LA. She's in school. She's in grad school.
She's in California working on her PhD. So we have our executive producer with us today, Rez, Quanna, and we have a guest today, Junae Brown from Brown to Perfection Agency. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, hey guys. My name is Junae Brown. I am owner and founder of Brown to Perfection Agency. It's a creative marketing agency currently based in New York, although we do have clients in Atlanta, LA, and hopefully a couple other spots in the incoming year. We do anything marketing, anything events for companies, brands, products, etc., etc., etc. And thanks for having me, ladies.
No problem.
Welcome.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here. Rez, you might as well tell about yourself. The listeners haven't heard from you yet.
Oh my God, you guys. I'm Rez. I have been working with Carefree Black Girl for a while now. We've been riding.
Last couple months.
Yeah, we've been riding. I call myself like a vision amplifier. I currently work in advertising, but I do a little bit of everything. I love creating content. And I just been really like pushing this movement. So I'm here. I'm with y'all.
Thank you for rocking with us.
You feel me? Yeah.
That was passionate.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
I'm here, and I'm really happy that we have our guests here. I was like, let's make this happen, because we just been doing big things. Like,
I feel like all the girls are killing it right now.
We have. I actually saw you briefly at A3C over the past weekend. I never met you in New York City, but I saw you. You had an event trapping in the 99.
Yes, trapping for the 99 and 2000s. Right. That was a lot of fun. Basically, it's an event that we do in New York. We've done it in Philly. It's a spinoff of another event, Trapping and Dabbing, that Kim Chanel, my partner in crime, and I started back in 2015, just because we wanted to throw a party, and then it kind of just never stopped. So it's just been funneling, and this is our third event period in Atlanta, but it's our first time bringing that party to Atlanta, and A3C asked us to be a part of the festival this year, which was great, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Thanks, Atlanta.
What makes that party like? How do you like? What's the vibe like?
Well, it's like a little bit of everything. So clearly, you know, you get the trap in parts, so you get trap music, of course. We never want to leave that out. Trap is super popular today, and Kim and I personally both really like trap music. But for our party, it's really not like a specific thing. DJs usually ask us like, so what should I play? And we're like, well, of course, you know, it's a lot of throwback music. So 90s and 2000s music, like your catalog got to be lit. Mm-hmm. So of course, throw that stuff in there. But then we also be like, and play current stuff, play reggae. Cause like everybody at our party, it's a big group of different types of people. Like you're not going to get like one kind of person or one kind of crowd. So you literally have to play everything. And I think that's part of the thing, one of the main things that I think makes our party so dope, because you're gonna get everything. Like one of the highlights of that night is that, so we reached cap really early, and I think I want to say the total cap at Aisle 5 is like 500 people, because we also had like our backstage folks and then staff, so including everybody, I think it's about 500, and we had the whole venue doing the electric slide. That it's funny because like we do that at our parties in New York. Okay. Right. So we do that at our parties in New York, but to see the whole Atlanta doing it was really funny. And then when Mouse Jones, shout out to one of our hosts, he cuts the music and they were singing, you know, that part on the song, like the top of their lungs, holding the note. We were crying, laughing, like, so it's great. You never know what you really gonna get, but you're gonna have a good time.
That's what's up. A3C overall was super dope, y'all, right? I had a great time. That was my first time in Atlanta, so
yeah, it was a good week. I'm proud of all the youth out there.
Yeah.
All the black people doing their thing.
Yes, I saw a shirt that said Black Thighs Matter, and I was like, yo, I love Atlanta. Everything black matters here. Like,
yeah. Black Thighs
Atlanta's
matter.
so black. I love it.
Like, and it is like, I've traveled abroad and I've come across people who's like been to Atlanta before, and they're like, yo, it's so black there.
Yeah.
They're like, I never seen.
I feel like Atlanta is a blueprint. Like, I love New York and I love LA and all these places, but when it comes to like even politics, Atlanta is like the blueprint for like a lot of things going on. They have like a mayoral race, I guess is what you say, race going on. And if nobody black wins, this will be like the first time in like years that they have had a black mayor. But basically, like last week, they legalized like, you know, decriminalized marijuana.
Oh yeah, they did.
Up to 28 grams.
They surely did.
It was real cute.
Atlanta lit now.
I was like, wait, what just happened?
Atlanta been lit. Come on.
But yeah, it's cool. I feel like definitely when it comes to like black power or whatever, they're like a whole like they got it going on.
I always say Atlanta's like black elite.
Yeah.
Like that's where like it's one place where, and I mean I feel like other places and cities used to be like that, but I feel like Atlanta is the most. Like Harlem, you know, like how Harlem was back in the day, where like if you was like a wealthy black person doing your thing, you was in Harlem. I feel like that's how I feel when I walk into Atlanta. Like it's like it's super black, and then it's also black elite though. Like I feel like everybody is like either doing anything or really, really trying to. Like everybody's a Renaissance person.
Yeah, it's levels, definitely. I realized that at A3C this year was a big eye opener for me, because it's like you have like the street people and they're like kings and queens in their own right, but then you have like the corporate blacks, and then you have like it was interesting to really like sit back and look at Atlanta. Then you got like the college kids who like are kind of in the middle. You know, so it's pretty interesting.
I mean, did you see that like in the music? Like,
well, in the music industry, yeah, a lot this year. Because I was wondering why. Like, I kept asking myself, like, why didn't A3C go to the colleges to like get people to come? And that was like my fear, if it was gonna be lit or not. But then I realized that it's so many other like demographics of people to touch. So you had like the out of towners who are coming to Atlanta, who are like spreading their music, and these people, some of them are like 27,000 followers on Twitter, you know what I mean, and like they're lit in their space, and they come to Atlanta and they have to like, you know, prove themselves again, and it's like it was like a whole like it just was levels, because it's like you got the street people. Like we tried to book this one girl on our stage, and she pretty much turned down the stage up until the week of, when she realized that it was an official A3C event, because she was doing like a lot of side stages. I'm like, no, you're actually like an artist. You get to go to the events and stuff like that. But she's looking at me and she's like, oh, who's this girl? Or what's this brand? The streets don't know them, but it's like we're doing something
I
corporate.
think that's
so it's like it's very
important.
like it was a big eye opener. Like it's so many different levels in the industry. Like you could be the it in South Carolina, but nothing when it comes to like, you know. So it was really, really eye opening.
I think that's so important, and especially too because like when me and Kim go to Atlanta, like our friends in Atlanta, like we have like industry friends that are there, but our friends that are like our friends, people we run around with, they're really from Atlanta,
Right?
And they're really outside,
Right?
So it's like even during times in A3C, like people will try to link with us, and they be like, "Y'all going where?" Or like, so it's like sometimes the split. So they're like, "What were y'all doing at blah blah blah?" We like this is or how you know like this person, but I think.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tone, one half of the best black movie review podcast in the world. Craig. This episode of the Blackbusters podcast is brought to you by Amazon Prime. Prime is more than just free shipping. Prime brings you closer to the things you care about today through shopping, streaming, and savings. For example, did you know that you can listen to your favorite podcasts, like ours, through Amazon Music? Yup. You can also watch your favorite movies, like the ones we review on Blackbusters on Amazon Prime Video. Yep. But it doesn't stop there. You can use Prime to get more out of your interests. From purchasing behind-the-scenes books about your favorite movies to listening to soundtracks of your favorite films. Yup, and yup. Whatever you're into or just getting into, Prime can help you get closer to it. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to sign up. From movies and music to passions and podcasts, it's on Prime.
If you're going anywhere, that's so important. Like you gotta not just know like the people who on paper, you know what I'm saying, look good. Yeah. Like you gotta really like do your research and also make relationships with everybody because there is that divide. Also, like there's like industry, corporate stuff, and it doesn't always mix. So it's like you gotta be good on both ends if you're really trying to do something.
If you're trying to like really be a powerhouse.
Yeah,
I think. That's why Jay-Z is like the pinnacle, like of over everybody. Because like you made it in New York with not only black people, you know what I mean? And like you're a king.
Everybody.
Yeah. So like I feel like, you know.
I feel like it was very intimate there. Like even the whole networking and just even the places that we were in. I feel like
it was like very like
everybody was a good
open,
vibe.
it was welcoming.
Yeah, like compared to New York City, getting to people and talking, you know, just meeting Atlanta, everybody was very like welcoming in Atlanta.
It's like level ground.
Yeah, everybody, because it's so many different levels in Atlanta, and just going to HBCUs, like 2 Chainz and them used to walk on our campus and shake hands and hug people. So it's like, who are you? Like, who are you to be stuck up? You know what I mean? Like, what have you done? If they're like still coming out here, like showing love.
New York is very different, and I think being on both sides, like from an industry's perspective and just like a regular, like I'm outside chilling perspective, it is very much more so like in Atlanta. You can't, like you said, like it's more access to people. And that's why I like that festival in particular, because there's going to be a little separation, you know what I'm saying, at certain times. But for the most part, everybody's everybody and everybody's within arm's reach. So I tell artists, I'm like, I know you might want to go to like a South by Southwest, but if you really, and not that you shouldn't, but if you really trying to like connect with people one-on-one, I always be like, look, go to like an A3C. Like it's definitely a place where you can not only reach people, like it's everybody, it's fans, it's artists, it's creatives, and then there's also industry people who like you don't get to be with all the time.
Yep.
And all that.
All in one space. I like that a lot about that festival. So what was your favorite moments or your favorite time during the week?
I had a few favorite moments. Let me see. My first favorite moment.
Limits, or we can do it.
You can do it. You can talk. You can say however many.
I
mean, my performance was cool on Wednesday. I really had fun. Flocka always just turns up. Like her pop-up shops are so dope, and I love it. Yeah, like everybody came out. Tate performed. The letter M performed, and I don't know, like the talent that was in Atlanta for A3C. I was just so happy to like be amongst and performing with them. And so that was my first major thing. Maybe I got more than 2. Then our events. I was so happy about the Carefree Black Girl stage because it came together.
Yes.
At the last minute. I feel like I've been like thinking about this and planning, and y'all have been like hearing me say, well, I gotta worry about this stage. And Rez, you've been helping me with your sponsorship letters and decks and everything. And even though we didn't get as many sponsorships for the event, like we met a lot of people after the event because of the work we did setting it up and everything. And I feel like that was dope. A lot of people hit me up with positive feedback from the event. So
the event was excellent. Like I had such a good time. I was so happy.
I couldn't stop smiling at it. I was trying
yes, me neither. It was a really good time. It was good vibes.
Let me see what my other moments were. Oh, the women's mentoring session was dope. So you had Aisha, she's Ludacris's manager. She was there. Jennifer Drake was there. The woman that owns 12 studios, I can't remember her name, don't kill me. Alicia Renee, and yeah, it was 4 of them. And it was just really dope. Like I got up there and I asked the question, like, how do you balance being a leader when you feel like you're still like figuring it out? Because like I told you before, like Carefree Black Girl, it spiraled out of control with the hashtag and everything. And me creating a company, now I have everybody asking me to do this and do that and like bring the event here, come there. And it's like, how do you navigate being a leader when I feel like it's so many things I need to learn like about being a businesswoman
every day
and they kept saying mentorship. Like, don't be afraid to reach out to women in the industry that may be older than you, that know more than you, and just ask them, hey, mentor me. And like, no real leader is going to like turn you down. And it's just all about like the approach. And a lot of them told their stories. Alicia Renee, she said she's a songwriter for like Rihanna. She's written for a lot of people. And she basically said how like she was like a housewife and like, you know, she just decided to like write and just try her hand at it. And one day she got that call and her life just changed. So that was really dope. And I think a theme the whole A3C was for women was like, don't be afraid to do the work. Because then me and Rez, do you want to tell them about the Sweet Chick Brunch? I've been seeing the Sweet Chick Brunch all week. Toyo Sweet Chick Brunch. And I knew Slug Agency had something to do with it. And Slug Agency is owned by Bosco. Bosco, she's an R&B like soul singer. She's originally from Savannah, my hometown, and she, you know, went to Atlanta and she actually got signed in New York. So she's like a traveler too. And I'm like, we need to go to this brunch. So I'm hitting everybody up. And the night before, I was like, why didn't I hit up Bosco? And so I hit her up and she was like, oh, it's kind of out of my hands. You know, Toyota's doing the whole event. So we was like, dang, we going to go to Waffle House. Wize wants to go to, somebody wants to go to Waffle House. And whole time Rez kept saying, we gonna get in this event. We are going to this brunch. We are going to this brunch. And as soon as we got back to the crib, she messaged me on Instagram. She was like, oh, they got some more chairs and space you guys to come through.
That was probably my chair,
and invite
girl,
some
I was asleep.
No, they had brought like a couple of tables in. Yeah.
Because I remember one of my homegirls, she like works for A3C, and my homeboy drove up from Nashville, and I was like, oh, we going to this brunch on Saturday. So I sent him the link, but I didn't know it was only for women.
Yeah, it was.
So he was like, for some reason, he was like, somebody wrote me back like, oh, if you weren't specifically invited, you cannot. And he was like, damn. And that's my homie who works at Sony too. So he's like, well, what's going on? I just thought it was a brunch. So I was like, I don't know. My homegirl calls me like, hey, who's like, you know, Justin or whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's my friend. What are you talking about? And so she was saying like, yo, it's super tight. Like,
yeah, it was supposed to be really,
blah, blah, blah.
really
She was like, you're good, of course. She's like, Kim is good. She was like, but like, no guys. Cause I was like, I have another homegirl here. I was like, can she was like, yo, for real, I'm not even gonna hold you.
And
like,
it was up in the boss was like, yeah, up until like when I messaged y'all, that's when they was like, oh yeah, you can invite more people or whatever. Cause I guess, you know, when you're dealing with like Angela Yee, Jennifer Drake, all these people, you don't like want to have them in spaces overdoing it, but then you get there and realize like, oh my god, they're chill. So let me invite more people.
Always try too, because like you never know, things change at the drop of a dime.
It was, that whole day was weird because these like Australian, where were those guys from? They ended up coming in, staying to the brunch. It was that day, like, I'm not even going. But yeah, those were my moments. What about yours?
Mine, well, the event. Definitely. I had so much fun. I did the interview with Taylor Black. That was cool.
Yeah, check that out.
Nice.
The girl talk session, that was interesting.
The girl talk session was interesting.
Yes, like I just wanted to kind of, ask what Carefree Black Girl meant to them. And the conversation kind of went left after we got into like women empowerment and hip hop. And Wize, Rez, Quanna, y'all had to come in and help me. Like it was
interesting.
So
interesting
moment. I mean,
basically,
was that one of your favorite moments?
No, it wasn't one of my favorite moments.
That was a very eye-opening
event.
moment.
I was just putting that in. The whole event in general was my favorite. That just came up from talking about the girl talk session. But we could get back to that. But
yeah, we can come back to that. We definitely have to discuss
the Fool's Gold stage was my other favorite moment. So I had so much fun at that concert. Like, and I'm at A3C, so that was super dope. And like, he was so nice, and that's like was another reason for me saying that Atlanta was more warm and welcoming and just easy to network. It's just being in that space. And the guy, I think his name is Yusuf. We just like, we're walking up and we're about to go and be with the crowd, and we saw him and he gave us wristbands like, oh, come on, come through. And Angel kept saying like, yes, connects. And I was just like, like stuff like that happened in New York, but in Atlanta, it just kept happening. Like the whole weekend was just very comfortable. It was good. So
can I say something? I think that what I realized this year is like a lot of women, I hate to say this, but a lot of people want to talk, but they don't want to do the work. When it comes to like the industry in Atlanta, in the South, it's very like, a lot of girls would rather be a rapper's girlfriend than actually do the work. So when people see you actually out here trying to do your thing and like be a boss, I think that a lot of people are starting to respect that even more. And I think that should be like Atlanta. Listen to Atlanta. Be good to the girls.
Yeah, but I feel like that happened. I feel like that was resonated for one with the whole event that we had, like just all women.
Yeah.
I think that men definitely were like, okay, they doing their thing. Like, so for us, we in a good light, but the A-Track stage was my favorite. I saw OJ the Juice Man. I was like, okay, this taking me back to my high school. Like Rich Homie. It was just, I had a good time. I had a very good time. And just being in Atlanta for the first time.
Oh, that was your first time?
Yes. That was my first time. So
that's dope. I'm so happy like you had a good experience.
Yes, I had a very good experience. I was like, I don't know if it was just because of the festival was going on that week. I'm pretty sure Atlanta
You deserve that, girl.
Yeah.
We all worked and prepared.
I'm pretty sure it's a good time.
Okay.
Anytime, but I had a good time.
What's your favorite? Who wants to go next? What's your favorite, Junae?
My absolute favorite moment.
Of course, that electric slide, boo.
Right. I think our party was my favorite moment, and not just because it was our party, which sounds weird, but one, I was happy that it all came together and everything was cool. We had so many mishaps that day, and there's always mishaps when you throw events, but like we had like crazy emergencies. Like one of my DJs called me at like 2-3 o'clock. Maybe it was later than that. Now it's probably like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and he was like, I missed my flight. And I was like, what? And so like dealing with that, but it was like everything that happened that went wrong, we like fixed it, but made it even better. I think that was one of the best, no, I don't think I know. It was like one of the best DJ sets, like as a whole, or DJ like collectives that we had as a whole, out of all the parties that we've thrown. Like they all were having a good time. Like it was just such a good like party vibe. Like it felt like we was in somebody's house. DJ Mike Nasty.
Okay, yeah, I love Mike Nasty.
Yeah, Mike is dope. DJ P for real, who's Uzi's DJ, and we had Abe Hyde, who's based in Atlanta too. Yo, it was so, and it turns out they all knew each other that we didn't know at first. So it was great. Like it literally looked like, I don't know, like when you see Juice and like all the DJs taking turns, they having fun, everybody just vibing, doing choreo. Shout outs to Joe Fresh. Y'all know Joe Fresh Goods. I got on his shirt right now. Hey Joe. Shout out to Joe for stopping through. It was his birthday. He had on some super fly ass jacket. We had like Falcons players in there. It was a lot going on, but it was so fun. And that's my favorite moment. I'm still happy about that.
Yes.
Daaj was lit. You made
It
it.
was. I was in there. Who was the first DJ?
That was P for real, Uzi's
Okay.
guy. He's from New York, and I also didn't know he was from New York. So he came in with the Yankee fitted, and I'm like, me and Kim was wondering, like, where is he from? So we're like, P, where you from? He like, Queens. I was like, I was so hyped. He was playing like classic East Coast records too. And everybody was still vibing. I was like, yeah. I was hyped.
Yeah, I don't know if
yeah,
I was
that's
there
a-
for like the switch of DJs, but the first DJ had it rocking. I know that. I was having fun.
Yeah.
That shit was lit. A3C was really good for me. Even though who was the DJ who missed their flight?
Oh, Mike Nasty.
Oh shit, me and Mike Nasty the same people because I missed my flight.
You did?
So my favorite moment at A3C was to the Delta ass customer service ass nigga who was like, "I'm gonna fix this for you." After being
That's
on the
who fixed
phone.
Mike's joint too. Shout out to
We were on the phone for like 3 hours. I was
Rez was like, "Yo, I've been doing this all morning."
like all morning. Like I was on the table, but I made it, and I made it because there was like a purpose, like and that's the thing. It was my second time going to A3C, so it was like absolutely lit to like touch down, and then like touch down into like this creation, this thing that I've been putting my energy into. So the stage was definitely like crazy. It was really good to see like all these female artists just like slay.
Yeah, that was
slay.
really
Like slay,
good.
shing, blood everywhere. I was like, oh my god! Like, I was in there just in awe. And then it was lit. It was a beautiful vibe for women, and I knew, like, I always, it's carefree Black girl. Like that's what like the movement is about. But to make it to Toyota Sweet Chicks just like really added a lot of confirmation to me, I think, because I was like, no, we getting in.
Yeah.
And I was on the bed. Like,
And she was like, we gonna just go. We just gonna go.
You gotta be like that though. You gotta be
will get
persistent.
there.
Like,
and I'm like that. And that's how A3C was. Like, I was on the phone, like, with the guy. Like, I'm getting there. Like, I'm going to Atlanta. Like, it was just like, you really gotta just speak it into existence.
Yeah.
And I was in bed talking to God. I was like, Lord, you really been helping me. So we know we on the same side. Come on now. I was like, come on. Because I saw Angela on my flight, the flight that I end up getting.
oh, that's crazy.
And I didn't speak to her because I was like, I'm going to speak to her when I see her, because she was like handling her business. I ain't gonna put it, but she was getting on the flight. I know how it is. Like, you got bags and stuff like that. So I saw her twice on, like, I kept on coming across her, and I was like, nope. I'm gonna speak to her when I know I can speak to her. And I was able to get to that event and speak to her and like really talk to her and like really share what we're about and just how like the event aligned. Like, we was getting our nails did. There was beautiful pictures of Black women who influenced hip hop on the walls. Mm-hmm. They had a picture of Left Eye Lopez and Ice Clear Gel. You feel me? Missy Elliott and her super duper fly bag and Pro Gel style.
And they gave out what did they give
Like
out? They gave out
vinyls.
vinyls.
They came out vinyls. They were serving food
I
on
saw that.
vinyls.
Yeah.
It's so
They gave out
cute.
vinyls.
It was such like
So
you
mad I
could
missed
tell
it.
they really curated that space, and it just really like showed like you just have to creating an experience is always time.
Word. And it was like, it was kind of similar to ours, but it was definitely a step up with the sponsors. And it was like, dang, like, I really want to create more spaces like this.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Shout out to whoever put that together.
Shout out to
and
Slug
Toyota
Agency
for putting their name on there.
Bosco and Slug
Dropping that
Agency.
bitch.
So nice.
Yeah, beautiful.
Do you care about me? Oh, you care about me. Like you say you do, I bet you know, but I let it go. You say you do, I bet you know, but I let it go. Oh, you're the real me. You're too smooth to fool you. I'm in love with me.
So a few girls at the A3C stage, they were saying, they were complaining about the amount of guys that was there.
Yeah, I guess they thought that it would have been more of an all-female event, and were complaining about the amount of male attendees. And they mentioned that we kind of promoted it as a safe space for women.
Well, for one, and when I went to look back, they got that part wrong. The Carefree Black, it said the Carefree Black Girl Cookout is a safe space where men and women come to celebrate women empowerment, entrepreneurship, and the arts. And it pretty much says that over everything. However, after the Sweet Chicks brunch, it kind of, sparked the thought in my head, well, we can probably do a few more events geared towards women. But it still got me to thinking, like, how important do y'all think it is for us to have spaces just for women and spaces ran by women, but men can come? Does that make sense? It's like, we need those. I know we need those spaces with just us, but like, how do we create safe spaces overall if we don't like expose?
Yeah, I think you got to do both.
Yeah.
Because it's important for us to have spaces that are just for us, because I feel like something totally different happens when you're in a space and it's just women. There isn't that other side to deal with. And it's, I don't know, it's weird. It's almost like being like everybody. It's like everybody got this, like they makeup off type shit.
Right.
So
and
it's
everybody's like naked just walking around.
Yes, exactly. So that's super important. And I think we'd be stronger as women in the mixed spaces probably if we do more of that, because it's like just focus on us. But at the same time, like you have to have mixed spaces, because like how are you going to, I mean, we're empowered, but we live obviously in a world where we have to deal with both sexes. And so it's like, how are you going to effectively practice or implement the things that we're building in only women's spaces if we don't ever mesh them?
Right. And it's, to be honest, like my ass, I was just fucking proud that A3C asked us to do the event. I didn't even think to like make it,
only women.
And that's a good idea. They said next year I could do 2 events if I wanted to for that purpose. But at the same time, the festival is probably 95%.
I was gonna say, and if the artist
if we
want to perform is trying to get any type of exposure,
exactly,
there's way more. Yeah, it has to be
really
both.
Deep.
It got
the conversation.
Really deep.
I don't. Well, I guess if they felt they wanted to voice that, then that was okay. I
you
had
a
mentioned
recap for us because I was in and out of that conversation.
Well, I was gonna say I mentioned during that conversation that like having men at our event. Like, I was like, well, we talk about self-esteem on the episodes a lot. And I just, not saying that you have low self-esteem, but I was like, I think that being comfortable in a place, because of how deep it got and like how heavy the conversation was, I felt like some of them were just saying like they were uncomfortable with men. And they were like, well, because men holler at you at the club and, we be at the club with men. So why we got to be here and be with men too, And I was like, well, this is ran by women though, and look at everything. They got to watch these women perform, and they don't go to events where, women are, it's an all-female lineup. And I was like, that's...
Unless it's a strip club.
I think if you guys ensure though that I feel like though you guys obviously would and do ensure to everyone in the space so that this is a safe space, period. So if any man, especially knowing what you guys stand for, what your brand represents, any man who walks through the door knows that he has to respect that. If not, I'm pretty positive that any of y'all would have been like, okay, you gotta go.
Word. And that's why when I walked up, I said, has somebody offended any of you guys? Like, do you guys feel uncomfortable? And they were just like, no, we don't have to feel uncomfortable to not want guys around.
And
I just was like, okay, I'm sorry, but I feel like we worked really hard on this. And I was like, I don't go to many events where it's ran by women. A woman's in the corner selling her merchandise. Another woman's doing eyebrows. And she was like, she took that part and she was like she tweeted, what did one of the girls say?
I'm just gonna, if I can say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to say one thing that resonated with me, because I understand that not everybody's gonna see your vision and or understand the things that you do, because you're only responsible for your own actions. Right. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So I took their conversation, because I jumped in, like I saw what was going on. I had jumped in, and I was like, let me be open in this conversation. And one of the girls says, like, don't be afraid to be radical. She said that. And I was like, if we do something that's all female, don't you feel like shutting out the men won't allow us to give them teachings or course correct their ways? And then she said, I don't see how they're learning here. How are they learning here? And that's when they piggyback on that conversation. Oh, well, this feels like a regular club. This feels like it's a ladies' night at the club. Like, how are they learning here? And I thought that was very, to me, that resonated with me.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel in the future we should do more. Like maybe even if it's signs, like saying what Carefree Black Girl is when they come to those events. However, most of the guys was like all female performers, all female DJs. Like they took that away, so I can't really say that they didn't have a takeaway. Towards the end, it was groups of people coming in that were kind of like rowdy, but by that time we were already ending.
Even with the promotion.
And did they have suggestions as well?
It really wasn't many suggestions.
Yeah, see, I don't.
The girls.
No, she.
You're saying that the girls.
Yeah, the girls.
Yeah, it was just more of them expecting it to be like an all-female event and just.
I'd have asked what
definitely.
What would you have preferred?
Yeah, I definitely wish I could have said that, but
I think, from my understanding, I feel like I asked and they said.
I was gonna say that was I felt like that was the suggestion. I felt like at first, to have a all female event, and I said that like thank you for that feedback. We'll take that, but they kept going. So it was just like all right,
and then we couldn't even get to the next question.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was unfortunate we couldn't get to the next question or anything along those lines because. It's like we centered our talk
around men.
About men.
Yeah. And it became negative because the next question was supposed to be like, how do you self-care? Like, how do you release and all that stuff.
So. But I think what, like you said, Daaj, I was thankful for that. I think we're all thankful for their advice.
Yeah, me too.
And we'll continue figuring out ways to create spaces that are all women and then create spaces that are co-ed because, we get it. There's some things you need to do sometimes with just your girls. Like sometimes there are. And
that's true. But I also feel like we will do our best to create more spaces for women. But even at that Toyota Sweet Chicks brunch, I feel like the women were selected based on a level of maturity and a level of understanding about the work that has to be done. And I feel like a lot of people shoot out these opinions with no solutions, with no thing about the work. Like, okay, so
that's why I was like,
this is the first year. Yeah, this is the first year. So you guys had Trapping for the 99. That was a female curated event. Flocka's event, that was female curated. Our event and the Toyota Sweet Chicks brunch. That was 4 events out of like 70 events throughout that whole week.
Actually, I think you're underplaying that number because there was so many women in whatever event going on with the conferences.
Oh yeah, the conference.
Well, yeah,
but
I think she means like the events outside of the like conference meetings.
Not the conference.
Like there's as far as curators, I'll say that female curators, Jasmine. Shout out to Sincerely.
Oh yeah, Jasmine. 5 of
yeah,
us.
but they're like you said. If there was way more, we'd have known. Like I literally know. Yeah, I think there was only 5
or less.
Like actual, like the females in charge of it. Not like, oh, they're just involved, but like female run. I think there's like only
and this
5 or
makes
6.
me want to address another point that I want to get to, or we want to get to, is how can women like be involved or have like amplify our voice in hip hop? Because our defense for having our stage that way is because we were at a hip-hop event.
Well, it wasn't our defense. It's how the event was started. When I started the Carefree Black Girl Cookout, it was Very me true. And like it was me 9 a.m. I think my cousin June. I think Angela was there and like Polly, one of our homeboys who skateboard, and he was like, we should do this all the time. Like it wasn't, I don't know. It was just to bring that feminine energy. I don't know. I hate that was like the basis of it because they took away from so much. But I definitely would like to create more all female spaces. Because when people think of like Carefree Black Girl, it's so many different like images that pop up in their heads, and a lot of people that
represent all of them.
Yeah, I'm right. And I'm like, what about the female who only has male friends? So she's a tomboy. We gotta make
she
her
might feel more comfortable
bringing
around
them because you guys are you might be full of makeup and whatever, and she might not be able to relate. Like, could she bring her homie with her? Like, so it's just like I would like to create a space where everybody feels comfortable. Because like I said, like with the Toyota Sweet Chicks brunch, if those 3 girls would have been there, I promise you they probably would have been critiquing that event too. Like, you get what I'm saying? They probably would have said something like, "Why is Angela Yee up there and we're down here?" It's like people, I don't know,
can't
like
please everybody.
It's level, like, and I feel like all this, like some people like they just got here, they just got woke. And like, it's like you keep saying what you would have done, but when I look at your work, a lot of people have not done anything. But we're gonna try to accommodate them. But like,
I was just gonna say that it's still, we put out the message.
Very true.
We definitely are very active in the voice and loud and clear and what the message of Carefree Black Girl is and what it means. And like, I don't feel like, well, it's not our responsibility to maybe have all female events. Like, not to be harsh.
we can make it our responsibility, but that's what I'm saying. That's like,
I'm saying
somebody
are we saying that, are we taking that on?
we can definitely add it, because somebody just asked me, you guys should endorse a political candidate. Why? They was like, because they could give you guys money to do different things. Like, and it's so many routes that we could go. I just want to create a free space. I don't want to have like be defined by so many rules.
Yeah.
But I
think
would
you
like to
should
do more
what you-
female events. And we will do that. And I thank those ladies for expressing their views. But I would like it to be groups of women who understand what the challenge is, and what the work we have to do. Because you can't just come, you could be radical. Yeah, you sure can. We all could be very, very radical. But when you're standing there by yourself, because there was a way to do that, to get to be heard more, you just got to be willing to do that. And a lot of people, they'll say stuff, but they're not willing to do that. They're really not.
So a lot of, what's the quote? Critics with no credentials.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Because people always gonna have something to say though. That's why I say if it's your brand, do what feels right to you. And sometimes, like you said, okay,
The
I like the
information-
suggestion. Like,
yeah.
thank you for adding another set of insight. But don't let people push your brand around though. Like, oh, you should do this, you should do this, you should do that. You know what? If you'd like to come in and maybe curate a one-off something, cool. But y'all don't have to, like she said, it's not necessarily your responsibility to take on everything. Y'all get to pick and choose because you're crafting this and you have the main message. And like you said, everybody else is not going to do the work to get it done. They're just throwing out whatever's coming in their head in whatever moment. So
yeah, I think my plan for being more vocal in hip hop is really just working with brands that have like a purpose that align like similar with mine. Like, that's why I think it's very important for me to go do the Carefree Black Girl event city to city and go to those events and find those women in the communities, whether it be the hairdresser, whether it be like the stylist, and whether it be like the person who has a new like the health drink. Because at the end of the day, like, bigger than hip hop, if we build our own like infrastructure and like buy black and build these people up, it's like if she got 10,000 followers on Twitter for her juice brand, she's promoting me, you know what I mean, in my event. So now I have my own like culture, so to speak. And I got everybody in here the email about like the amount of money that black women bring in, and people, I think they don't really pay attention to that. Because black women, we're very, very influential. We make a lot of stuff hot. So I'm just trying to find those women wherever I go. And yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, just sisterhood for the most part. Because you have to have your allies. Jennifer Drake was saying that Aisha was her mentor. And Aisha was saying that she has mentors. Some of them have died and blah, blah, blah. And they changed over the years. Like, I think that's the most important part. Yeah.
For me, it will be to create and to support, I guess.
Yeah, and definitely
continue to put out things, create, and be a part of the woman in entertainment and in hip hop. Be a valued opinion, a valued voice, a hard worker for sure. Somebody mentioned earlier about being a rapper's girlfriend or something, and I feel like we bring that up a lot too, how we want to be known for what we do, like not being known for anybody girlfriend, like they put us there. So definitely being a mogul of my own and being like one of those women that could be up on panel speaking at Toyota, Sweet Chick Brunch, and yeah, supporting women, like, genuinely.
Yeah, that's very important right now for me, like definitely giving what I want to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think like women in hip hop, I think at this point, just women have not awakened themselves, but we're at a point where we're loving ourselves. Like we're just full of ourselves. We have so much fun, and it's fine. It's fine to be who we are today. We've learned to embrace and we're in that process. I think so. Now, women in hip hop needs to continue claiming our land, because hip hop is a culture and it has to be built off of something,
right?
And it's truly built off of like women, and I think that event really pulled that out. Like I saw like just how we craft, especially nowadays. Think about all the producers who are females, all the A&Rs who are, you know, who are women. You know, just think about all the women in these buildings who are moving things around so that this album can play, or so that you can stream this.
Right.
So I think just continue like taking control, just take over.
I think for me, it's about making sure my voice is not quieted. Like making sure that, you know, I use my voice that I have, continue to grow it, but also use the voice that I do have how I should. Because I think sometimes with women too, it's a matter of having to see somebody who looks like you, who comes from someplace you come from, do it so that it is possible. Even if they don't do the same thing, it's something about them doing it and being loud about it, and not obnoxious, but really just holding your own and standing in that, like, this is what I do, this is what I bring to the table, and not letting people, like, you know, shortcut you or whatever for that. And then also putting other women on, like making sure that, like, you know, you reach to the side or reach up or reach down, whatever it is, like including other dope women or showing another dope woman how to do something. Like, I think that, you know, that responsibility in itself and everybody taking it seriously will help amplify women's voices in hip hop.
Definitely agree.
That's super important.
It is about like saying like, yeah, like I did this, but my homegirl doing something too tomorrow. Exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what it is.
Or being like, and before you reach out to, you know, maybe somebody who you know is, oh, because this is, they do the best in this. If your homegirl does that, but maybe needs some help, like just seeing how you can collaborate, even down to like giving ideas. Like everybody's building their own thing, so you may not be able to OD, you know, really take on somebody else's whole thing, but just where you can, or recommending them to somebody. Like, I think in general, I'm like that with people of color, period, especially if it's people I know. Like, I'm quick to like, and I'll do it without even saying anything, just like, oh, you doing what? Or people will ask me like, oh, who should I feature for this or whatever, and I'll send them, I'm just going to send them names of people who I know are good people or who I think are dope. And I think we got to do that with, I try to do it with women of color first, and then people of color, and then whoever else I like is cool. No, but seriously, as women, especially like, you know, Black women, I think we need to do that more often too.
Yeah. Instead of just trying to be like the token girl, you know, the token Black person, because it's like when they get tired of your ass.
Yeah. And then it's like, you know, what's weird about that too is that they make it seem, and it's like this with women and as actual artists too, they always make it seem like there's only room for one who does this specific thing, or not even, and that's the crazy thing, everybody has a niche, but if like you're the Black woman who does marketing, that's it can only be her and doing this. Mind you, like, you know, somebody like two different styles, two different audiences, two different visions, and I think we let that get in the way too. And it's not so much of us, I think it's, you know, especially if you're creative, it's like male dominated. And so don't let that get in your head though, because there will never be more seats if you don't pull up a chair for the next girl. You know what I mean?
So true.
So that's something we,
because you don't like, you don't want to be alone at the top.
Because like the higher you up you get, the less of us it's going to be.
You really don't want to. And hip hop does that. Like that's why, oh, Nicki got to be the number one, or like you just see how if you look at female categories in hip hop awards, there's always a like one person for a series of years. Whether it's Missy, sometimes not Nicki, it could be Missy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I hate that. Like, we just put one person on top all the time, especially when it comes to the artist part of the hip hop culture. But we're moving away from that. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, do we see that trend dying anytime soon? Because we've been here for so long.
So.
Yeah,
I definitely think so. Because there's so many. Next thing too is like there's so many different kinds of female artists. Like you can't, hip hop in itself right now is crazy. So you can't really box anybody in that, but so much. True. So now that there's also different women who do it, but like that's a whole another thing. So they could try, but I don't see that lasting
at all
much longer.
I think that a main thing that women need to be is honest with themselves and about like their struggles, like with being in entertainment. It's so random. I know this like off topic, but y'all know China Rogers, right? The rapper. Have you heard of her?
Yeah.
I've heard of
And
her.
how she like admitted to like doing like heroin and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I saw that.
And I think that a way to move forward is just be honest about like what we're going through and about like things. I'm shocked that such a beautiful girl was like going through something like that, but she is a model and she does like, she's around other people that are not like her all the time. And who knows what was, I don't want to say too much because I wasn't there. I don't know what she was going through, but sometimes you do have to like find an escape. And I think that is, if we create more spaces for us to be honest, and if she knew like, yeah, my homegirl, my black girl's gonna be with me so I can say this, I think it'll be more like, it'll be better for us.
Just
You know
take
what I
the
mean?
pressure off of
Yeah.
having to be like perfect.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we already got the like, you gotta be twice as good as them to get
Yeah.
half of what they get, like just being black, period. Then you're a woman on top of that. So it's a lot all the time. So much so that I think that we always feel like we gotta be perfect. We gotta be this one way. Like I
Yeah.
can't have a bad day. I can't be sad. Or I can't, you know what? I got an attitude today. Yeah, I'm a bitch today. Like we can't have none of that. Like we gotta be so perfect. And I feel like we gotta like kill that in itself, because then maybe, not saying, because like you said, you don't know what she was going through, and not saying that she wouldn't have found, an escape in drugs or anything like that, but maybe she would have just felt better being able to not be okay.
Right.
Because it's not even on the internet only. It's like when you're out, you could not be okay, but you feel like you got to put on like
Right.
at least a little bit of like, hi, I'm okay. Hey, how are
Yeah.
you? And it's like,
Yeah.
we don't
Like,
get
they
that
get it.
break.
Like, yeah.
I feel like black women, social media and life in general just puts that on us that we can't not be okay.
Yeah, I really like want to like, that's something I want to kill in general. Like, it's okay to not be okay all the time.
Yeah.
Like there is no one
And
who
like
is okay
black
all the
people
time.
needing therapy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I'm a firm
mental
believer that
health,
all black
like-
people need therapy.
Yeah.
Black people are getting more comfortable now, I see.
more open
Knowing
about it.
that, more open about it and being like, I have a therapist. I talk to some, no, not me. I was just saying like being comfortable with saying that.
I was gonna jump into that because I felt like Jay-Z's, I know this is so random.
Oh yeah,
But his footnotes that he did on Tidal, that was like therapy right there. The way he did those footnotes, and he talked about like, oh, I was at a therapy session, and he'll bring that up, but just like that transparency that he had, and just like picking up people, and
it's so important too, because
was
he's such an
necessary.
iconic black figure.
Yeah.
So
Black
for
male
him to
figure.
sit there and be like, yo, I almost lost my wife, or I had to deal with death in my family, I had to deal with this with my mom, like, or I just wasn't okay.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like for him to say that, I feel like it was so important for like black people to see that. As crazy as that sounds, and some people get mad like, oh, because like even in a song, oh, because Jay-Z said it, now you want to take care of your credit.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's kind of like
Sometimes
that.
you do need
Sometimes
somebody
You
to
need
say it that
somebody
you look up to.
Exactly. So yeah, that's so true.
But yeah, it's hard. But still, as like women in Norman, I was watching a show that like the mom was like, the Carmichael show actually. The mom was like, she was talking about her struggle. She was going through a form of depression on an episode, and she was like, I'm the mom. I have to stay strong. I have to keep a smile on my face. I have to keep a smile on my face. So it's like sometimes I think, and that's like for like women in relationships and like partners, and who have kids, you have to carry that burden on you. So sometimes you got to be okay for other people.
Yes, I seen a status today that said, imagine being a single mother while trying to get yourself together mentally and emotionally.
A lot.
That's the hardest thing I had to do. And I was like, I can't even imagine, because it's getting myself in check and
Girl,
being self-aware
I feel
and
like that. Just
getting my
having-
peace of mind is work.
That's crazy. I don't have kids, but like I have like family members who lean on me, friends. I have a company. Like I have people like I can't let down and have to depend on me all the time. So having a kid on top of that, or like, dating is one thing, but having like a marital spouse or something like on top of that, like right now, I'm telling y'all, I could not. Like the thought is making me anxious. Like, whoa, that's crazy to put that in perspective like that.
All right, so that's a wrap. Thank you, Junae, for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me, ladies. Had a lot of fun.
Oh, thanks so much. I hope to hear you back. Come back,
I would love to. Just let me know when, y'all. As long as I got time, I'll be here.
Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at CFBG Pod. And you can also follow us on Instagram at carefreeblackgirl_Inc. And make sure for you guys to check out our website. We just launched it at www.carefreeblackgirl.com.
You guys can follow me at Everything New York. You can also follow my style page at Lost Life NYC. And Junae, tell us where we can find you.
Hey guys, my name is Junae Brown. You can find me at Junae Brown on Instagram and Twitter. That's Junae, brown like the color. On Twitter and Instagram, you can also follow my agency social media pages. That's B2P Agency on Twitter and just Brown to Perfection on Instagram. That's the number 2, not T-O.
Cool. It's your girl Rez, and you could follow me on Instagram, Twitter at callme_REZ_. Again, callme_REZ_.
There are a million apps out there, but how many of them deliver alcohol? And how many of those have a sweet bear logo? Exactly, which is why you should try Drizzly, the #1 app for alcohol delivery. With Drizzly, you can compare prices on the biggest selection of beer, wine, and spirits, then get them delivered in under 60 minutes. Let's see your flashlight app do that. Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com today.
Shop Amazon for last minute gifts. Great deals for everyone on your list. Gifts for mom and gifts for dad. Even for your sister and your brother Chad. Ah shoot, we didn't realize we were supposed to get a gift for our dog walker guy. We almost forgot about our dentist Dr. Kerr. We didn't expect to get a gift from her. Or our cousin, I forget his name. He got us something nice, better reciprocate. For last minute deals on gifts for people you forgot. Get fast and free shipping at Amazon.